And it is Mishaguyas Monday Live. I'm your host. The camera is doing things differently again today. I'm your host, Rofa Mishaguyas, as I am here every week, and today has definitely been an insane Monday for us all, I think, as the Amazon cloud servers had a miscommunication that sent half the world and our connectivity down. Were you affected and impacted in any way by Amazon screwing up? Let me know in the comments, and you can also leave other comments in the comment section, whether you're watching live now or later. Yes, it has been one of those days. In fact, it's been kind of a fishy Monday. Very fishy. With all kinds of things going crazy. The medical update stuff went to the dentist today. My mouth is a wreck, which I already knew, but it's not as much of a wreck as I thought it was, which is really good news. And it's only going to cost me about $5,000 to get fixed after the insurance covers stuff. The mouth is going to get redone, hopefully. A lot of teeth repaired. Hopefully get this gap that's been growing now for 3 years, maybe more, fixed with the things they use to fix gaps in teeth and straighten teeth and all that kind of good stuff. The good news is I do still have sufficient bone in there to pick with people. Yes, no bones about it, or lots of bones about it. I do have bones to pick. Yes. Anyway, unlike a lot of politicians and jellyfish and other invertebrates. But anyway, so today I wanted to talk about something that is a little bit different. When I was doing theater regularly and still in school, I had a series that I wrote on my blog. Some of the articles got started and never got finished, but I had a series that I had started on my blog, Noakes Notes and Miscellaneous Mishaguyas, which you can also find via my Mishaguyas.net page. But it was The Character and Me. And it was where I would write about characters that I played, or wanted to play in some cases, and how I related to that character, how I connected with that character, how we meshed or didn't mesh, and just kind of really open up about how I related to the character and the connections that I made, and how those came up and out in the performances that I did. Or in the cases where I didn't get the part, it was still a character that I related to, and how I related to them and connected with them in what I had seen. And today I'm actually going to talk about two characters, because I did a thing. I am naturally rebellious, and I don't want to do the popular thing. I tend to bucket, but I finally broke down and I watched the first season. Haven't gotten to second season yet of the Netflix series Wednesday. Now, if you've not watched the series, I recommend that you watch it. Wholeheartedly recommend that you watch it. It is excellently put together, excellently done. The acting in it is phenomenal, as well as the effects and the storyline. Lots of twists and turns, and I'm just like, oh, of course. I did figure out who the main person was that they're trying to figure out in season 1 before it was actually truly revealed. But if you haven't watched it, there will be spoilers today, probably. So I recommend that you watch it. This will go up to YouTube eventually, but I want to talk about that today and how I related to two characters in the series, and how I see them both as me in the past and me as I am today. And today I'm focusing on Wednesday and her roomie. Because they are both me in so many ways. So this is my video version of the character and me, Wednesday, and I'm blanking on her name. I want to call her Inez, and I know that's not right. And I wrote it down, but I can't find it. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to put a picture up right there that displays the two characters. If you're watching this on Facebook, you're not going to see that. But, I relate to both the characters in this series for a huge number of reasons. And so that room that the two of them share in a lot of ways, even today, even now, is very much me and the battles that go on inside of me sometimes. Less so now than it used to be. But back in the younger days, of course I'm still only 12, but we're ignoring that for now. I've celebrated my 12th birthday repeatedly for several decades now, and I'm still 12. But anyway, sometimes I'm 5. Anyway, I digress. But that's okay, because this is my video. So Wednesday and her roomie, and I'm sure somebody is putting in the comments who it is, but unfortunately I can't see those comments. So it's okay. I will get it, and I will forget it again. But anyway, so in the earlier days, let's just say when I was back in school, let's say high school and earlier, but especially I think to a degree, high school, maybe even junior high. Junior high or middle school is very much a transitional point for a lot of people. And it was definitely a transitional point for me, but high school was definitely a different kind of adjustment for me in changing to address things that other people saw, or attempting to address things that other people saw, and learning to accept or reject. In a lot of ways, I was definitely Wednesday. I was kind of non-emotional. I was quick, direct. I had my own style, kind of a dark style, and was a little more direct. I was the oddball among oddballs. We're not even talking about normies. I was the oddball among the oddballs, and was often accused of doing things, intending things that had never even crossed my mind, or were not where I was, like Wednesday often gets accused of in the first season of the series. Again, I haven't seen season 2 yet, but I'm sure some of these things will continue. Anyway, so I was that non-emotional person. I was the person who was into horror and sci-fi and dark things, and there actually was a point as well where I was trying to write a novel, a horror novel. And I relate to Wednesday a lot. But at the same time that I was becoming and being Wednesday, there was also that other part of me. The roommate who kind of got shut down and locked up when I was young. Not only by other school kids, but by adults, parents, parent, singular, since I only had one parent after my dad died. Parent, teachers at school, other kids who just, even into college, even into today, there are those who don't get the energy that I have and will get upset and try to shut it down, but I'll get back to that later. But when I was younger, I had more of that bouncy energy like the roommate does in Wednesday. And it got shut down. It got shut down. One of the biggest memories that sticks out in my mind was one of my birthdays. We were still in the house where my dad, we lived in when my dad died. It was my birthday, and I was excited. I don't know which birthday it was. Maybe it was my 6th, but I walked into the kitchen and I was just so excited. It was my birthday, and I jumped up in the air and I spun around. I was a young child. I was so happy. And I got yelled at and scolded for trying to ruin the surprise, trying to ruin the surprise by peeking. I didn't know there was a surprise. I wasn't trying to peek at anything. I was just happy. It was my birthday. I was excited. Yay, birthdays. And it seems like Wednesday's roomie enjoys celebrating these kinds of things much as I do even today. I like to try to make other people's birthdays special whenever I can, and try to remember. And it gets harder as time goes by, but that is a part of me, and we see that, spoiler, we see that in Wednesday, where a party is thrown for Wednesday's birthday, initiated by her roomie, and it just doesn't go over well. So those kinds of situations for me cause me to start to shut down and lock up a lot of that boisterousness and that energy that I had, the bouncy, the high energy, the happy, and become more flat, more robotic, more Spock-like. Fascinating, Captain. Where the emotion got really locked down, and though it's a different series, Spock was very much my dad, my hero, because he had the same struggles with the emotions that I did. He felt them, but he had them under control. So they really didn't get shown most of the time, and I did that. In fact, my senior year, my high school class, as I'm sure others do and have, they voted for people in different categories of things. A guy and a girl were nominated for different categories of things. Things like the most athletic guy and girl, the most funny guy and girl, the most musical, the most intellectual, the tallest, whatever, the lists go on of the different things they did. And they had a category of most mysterious. And I was voted most mysterious male because people couldn't figure me out. And that still holds true to a lot today, because people get things wrong about me because they see certain things, mannerisms, things that I do, and say, oh, you must be this thing here. And I'm like, no, That's not me. You're misunderstanding. I'm not this, I'm this, or whatever. But it leads to a lot of misunderstandings, not Mr. Understandings, misunderstandings to this day. So I still get that. I still get that part of Wednesday and understand that aspect of her and her character. But at the same time, as I am this Wednesday, this non-emotional, highly intellectual person, deep down inside, there was part of me that would look at these other people, these class clowns, and the people who could crack jokes and be silly and get everybody laughing and be popular. And I said, I wish I was like that, but that's just not me. That's not who I am. Well, I was wrong, of course, as anybody who has known me and followed me for any amount of time knows. I am that. I am a lot of things. I am the silly, goofy, laughing, make things light, but I'm also can be the very serious and intellectual, embodying both those traits. But I would look at the silly people. I would look at the funny people. I'm like, I wish I could be like that, but that's not me. So as we move forward through the decades that followed of me being 12, and me exploring myself and who that I am, not only based on various kinds of tests, personality tests, things like that, but also by hearing from other people who they see me as, definitely changes or causes me to be more introspective. Like Wednesday. Things that have been said that really have made me take a step back and say, why do people keep saying this? Like in high school, it was my senior year. People are kind of distant, and we were in class one day, and somebody asked the question, what would you do if you saw two gay men walked into a room and two gay men were doing a thing? And I made a shameful and highly disparaging comment at that time. And the response from the friends around me was to laugh and say, oh yeah, right, you'd probably join in. And I was like, wait, what? Where is this coming from? And this has been a common problem through my life. I am not into men, but it made me take a step back many times and say, what is it in me that people see that makes me think that I am gay when I'm not? And other such things. People frequently misunderstand and think that I'm flirting with them when that was the furthest thing from my mind. And so one day I was like, why do people keep thinking this about me? And I went online and went onto YouTube and, how you can tell he's flirting with you, and watched several videos with all this laundry list of things of how you can tell a guy is flirting with you. And I was like, whoa, I do every single one of those things for people, not because I'm flirting with them, but because I feel that people need to be treated with respect and as though they're human. The thought of romance or other things never even entered my mind. It's like, okay, I understand why people think I'm flirting now. And I also understand why people think, even now, often, that I'm gay. because I do have those mannerisms and that energy, and but I'm not. Never been interested in guys. Sorry, guys. But the misunderstandings, they're things that continue today, and it's the battle of these two characters. And if I could go back, part of me would love to be that roommate who I am very much now. I definitely let that out now a lot more than I used to, after, again, really figuring out who I am and choosing to embrace unapologetically and boldly who I am. It is Asexuality Awareness Week this week, by the way, and I am ACE, which is the shortened of asexual. It is an umbrella term which a lot of people, I think, fit under even when they may not realize it. Going off to the side here for just a moment, a lot of people may not realize they fall into this category. If, for example, you don't start to feel attraction for someone until you start to feel a deep emotional connection to them. This is demisexual, which is under the asexual umbrella. And I know a lot of people who are like this, and I didn't realize that this was something that goes under that. But now you have been educated on one of these things. But happy week to you. And there are other things that also fall under this umbrella. But anyway, I am not gay, never been attracted to men, even though I've asked myself that same question. No. But I am that high energy person. I am the person who loves the pizzazz and the pops and the colors and celebration and doing fun things, fun and fishy, like Wednesday's roommate. So here within me is that energy of the two, like the two cats here, battling each other. We got Wednesday over here, and we've got Roomie over here, or maybe the other way around. I don't know. Which one do you think? Is this one Wednesday, or is this her Roomie? Let me know in the comments. But anyway, I have that battle going on inside of me, even now, where I'm like, I want to have the energy, but do I need to pull back the energy? Because people will misunderstand. And for the most part, I've chosen to just embrace being fully and unapologetically who I am. I'm the one who likes the colors, who likes to be upbeat, who likes to do fun things and celebrate the happy moments and colors and vibrance and find the connections and the similarities, just like Wednesday's roommates, ways that we can get along and connect, and even with our differences, find places where we're like. That's definitely me. And like Wednesday's roomie, I too can be hurt and frustrated when I am greeted with the coldness that Wednesday often shows to her roomie and her roomie's energy. The dark comedy, the sarcasm. I am definitely into sarcasm. I am the prince of the chasm, yes. But anyway, I relate. Within me is both of those characters going at it, and sometimes one character has a little more pull, and the other times the other character has a little more pull. But I relate because I've got that going on inside of me. And yes, I realize that both of those characters are both female. They're both girls. They're both in real life, they're women. They're in that age, even though they look young. But I have that energy. And it's one of the reasons why people misunderstand me. If I was a woman, if I was in a woman's body, a lot of the things I do, the things I think, the things I say would not be misconstrued as they are. But that's the energy inside me. That's the battle of the characters in me, the characters in me, and how I relate and connect to them. How about you? Have you seen the Wednesday Netflix series? And do you relate to any of the characters in there, whether it be Wednesday, her roommate, or any of the other characters in the series? Let me know in the comments. Also, I did mention Spock there and how I relate to him. If you relate to any other characters, I would love to hear what characters in whatever movies or TV shows are that you relate to, and how you see yourself in them and them in you, and vice versa. Let me know in the comments. But in closing, I look forward to the day, and I know in a lot of ways we are moving away from this. But I look forward to the day when it returns again, where we can all just be who we are and accept others for who they are. And let them be. Even though Wednesday and her roomie have their tiffs and their battles, generally, even with Wednesday's rudeness and her tough exterior, she still does miss and appreciate those around her, even though she doesn't want to share it. And yeah, they have their battles, but things get patched up. And in the end, they realize that even their differences are important things. And I'm looking forward to that day when all of us who think and feel differently will learn to embrace and celebrate those differences yet again. Just like I see the differences in you and celebrate them, and your uniqueness and your special things that make you you. And I am so proud of you and appreciate you so much for just continuing to be who you are and continuing to keep going despite it all, maybe in spite of it all. Just keeping going, being who you are, authentically and unapologetically you. I appreciate you, and I am very, very proud of you. And I will see you more in the days to come on the internet.